Why are you mad? Wouldn't you want to? I want the same thing for my son. I don't want him to ever have to work. Why does that bother a mother so much? And why is that always why is that always being thrown in my face like that's such a bad thing? That's not a bad thing.
And I told them, listen, no more handouts. No more handouts. It can't be, because I feel like I'm hurting my children just by, I give them money, they go shopping, they put gas in their car, they party, they come back, I need money.
They teach them about contracts, they didn't teach them about saving, they didn't teach them about investments. Who? Who would have taught him these things? Of course he's broke. He's a gambling addict. He's got baby mamas all over the way. What do you mean is he broke? Of course he's broke. What boxer do you know that isn't broke? What a ridiculous question.
Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s daughter, Iana Yaya Mayweather, has stirred debate after asserting that the boxing icon has spent a large portion of his wealth on a lavish way of living. She claims that Floyd is currently declining to provide financial help to his children, instead encouraging them to earn their own income.
Don't have a pot to in a window to throw. I got tongue twisted. Don't have a pot to in a window to throw it out of. Bitch, don't even got a fucking car to drive. I'ma start popping it like that on y'all, cause I just be like, I be real laid back, I be cool, but yeah.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. shared during a podcast interview that he can no longer continue handing out money to his kids, reportedly because it's no longer within his means. He explained that they should start creating their own ventures or find employment rather than relying on him for financial backing. Now,
Money, I buy them houses, I buy them cars, told them, listen, from here on out, if you guys go to school, or you work in one of my businesses, then you can branch off, get your own business, and I'll put the money up to help you start a business, but I need you guys to take what I've already started and triple and double that, and then I need my grandchildren to come behind you guys and do the same thing.
Chael Sonnen, a former MMA competitor and commentator, has asserted that Floyd Mayweather Jr. didn't truly earn the massive sums he often claimed. Sonnen suggested that figures in boxing are frequently overstated. Still, Floyd continued to live and spend as though he possessed endless billions, which might help explain why he is now said to be facing financial difficulties and could even be broke today.
Numbers that you hear in boxing simply aren't true. Floyd made $1 billion. No, he didn't. Floyd and Conor made $500 million. No, they didn't. Of course they didn't. Nobody's ever confirmed that. Literally nobody. It's the same thing with boxing pay-per-view. Whatever boxing pay-per-view is the biggest boxing pay-per-view of all time is just whoever put out the press release and lied more than the person before them. These have never been confirmed by leadership of a publicly traded company, who is the one that supplies the pay-per-view. It is illegal for them to lie. You have never heard Time Warner, you have never heard Cox, you have never heard DirecTV, you have never heard an executive come out and confirm any of the absurd pay-per-view numbers that you believe to be true. The numbers aren't what you think they are, right? The numbers are good and they made a lot of money, but it's not what you think it is. And yeah, of course Floyd's broke. Would you be boxing if you...
Chael Sonnen detailed his doubts, stating that there isn't any solid proof showing anyone truly issued the enormous multi-million-dollar payments that Floyd Mayweather Jr. said he earned from his bouts.
And it's the same thing with the check. I got $100 million for a fight. Oh, you did? Who signed the check? Whoever signed the check is going to want credit for it. There's never been a time that $1 million check was written and the dude that wrote the check didn't make sure that somebody found out he wrote the check. So who wrote the check? Floyd's got a whole bunch of them, apparently. He got $1 billion. Who wrote the check?
Jason Whitlock, a former ESPN writer, stated that Floyd Mayweather Jr. has spent extensively in an effort to remain relatable and keep pace with celebrity culture. He implied that this kind of lifestyle may have led him into debt, and that he is now even compelled to come out of retirement to meet his financial responsibilities and settle what he owes.
What Floyd Mayweather is an example of, the stupidity of living for the culture and trying to be relatable and trying to be this incredible icon or example of, look how much money I've made. He's blown it all. And now at 49 years old, he's got to go back into the boxing ring and continue to fight because he's in a lot of debt. And this is what I was trying to make the point to Cam Newton about. This whole I'm doing it for the culture. What has doing it for the culture ever gotten any?
However, WAC 100, a close associate and business partner of Floyd Mayweather Jr., argues that the accusations about him going broke are unfounded, noting that such claims have circulated for more than 2 decades without evidence. He maintains that Mayweather continues to own high-end properties and uphold an affluent lifestyle, suggesting that reports of financial hardship are overstated.
They're accusing him of going broke because he's looking for these fights.
They've been accusing Floyd of going broke for 20 years. Now, let's talk about going broke. Maybe down to 200 million. Maybe that's his broke. I don't know.
Maybe that's his broke.
What I do know is his homes is still there, because when he tell me to come see him, it's the same addresses. Every time he called me, it's stars on the roof. Right? So I don't know, unless somebody is hacked into this man's finances, they always accuse the man of going broke. So maybe he's bored.
Mainly 50.
Maybe he's bored. The number 50 don't mean nothing, because he's still performing like he always had.
Despite all the disputes, Floyd Mayweather Jr. has returned to the gym and resumed training after revealing plans to come out of retirement, getting ready for upcoming exhibition matches and a professional bout against Manny Pacquiao.
Right hand hook. Again. Hook right hand. Okay.
Andre Ward has stated that despite Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s flashy lifestyle and public image, he never ignored the gym. Ward highlighted that Mayweather remained highly disciplined, training regularly and staying in outstanding condition throughout his career, and even in retirement, continuing to uphold the work ethic that kept him sharp and competitive.
You see the flash, even though you see the glitz, even though you see Floyd in the streets ripping and running, one thing he never neglected was the gym. He always stayed true to his roots, and he perfected his craft, and that's why he became who he became. I personally wish that Floyd Mayweather at 49 years old would be somewhere kicking up his feet, living off his investments, and frankly running a sport.
Amid speculation that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is broke, Iana Yaya Mayweather posted on social media that she might take up a job. She indicated it would be out of boredom, but critics suspect the real reason could be that Floyd has scaled back or completely ended his financial support for her.
Yaya, after being courted by her dad and NBA YoungBoy, got on the internet and said something very interesting. She said, what did she say, Jasmine? Lately, you gotta expand it for me. Thank you so much. Lately, I've been bored. So I was thinking about getting a job for fun, or maybe work like 2 or 3 days out of the week just to see what it's like. Why not? Ooh, the entitlement. The laziness. The fact that she couldn't read the room. You know, there's people out here looking for jobs. I'm bored, so I'm just gonna get a job today. I couldn't even believe she tweeted that. I just couldn't believe. I said, oh my God, like, she is really clueless.
Critics have also raised concerns about whether Iana Yaya Mayweather fully grasps money management. Even though she was raised with the riches of Floyd Mayweather Jr., they argue that having access to wealth doesn't automatically mean knowing how to handle it responsibly. Abilities such as budgeting, saving, and investing are crucial, and without them, even a significant fortune can fade quickly. The conversation expands to a broader trend among affluent families, suggesting that a substantial share of second-generation individuals end up losing their inherited wealth. This is often linked to limited financial education or an upbringing that encourages entitlement instead of discipline. In some situations, parents may concentrate so heavily on creating wealth that they overlook teaching their children how to preserve it, while in others, children may simply take their financial stability for granted.
You already know what's up. These little girls don't know how to do nothing. And she's sitting on I'm bored. And y'all can say, well, her daddy rich, but like, what if something happens to her father? Oh, we got trust funds. Okay, cool. He may have trust funds. But does she know how to budget money? Does she know how to make money? Does she know the value of money? That empire, that estate is going to be gone. And statistics show that 85% of second wealth generators from their parents go broke because they don't understand how to manage it, which means there's a few reasons. Either we spent too much time making it, we didn't have time to educate our kids on it, and so we just gave them everything. Or two, they just don't give a damn. They just entitled, spoiled.
Many observers believe Floyd Mayweather Jr., at this point in his life, should be slowing down and enjoying the fortune he has accumulated by relying on his investments instead of remaining active in the ring. They argue he possesses the insight, background, and business ability to lead boxing as a top promoter. Having turned himself into a worldwide superstar, he knows the sport thoroughly. However, there are still questions about why his promotional company has not completely taken over, with fighters frequently departing after signing. Analysts suggest that while he clearly appreciates his achievements, boxing is still a central part of his identity, and the spotlight from major bouts is something he finds difficult to walk away from entirely.
What I mean by that, Floyd Mayweather with his popularity, Floyd Mayweather with his knowledge of business, boxing business, he's made the mistakes, he's had to fight for everything that he's gotten, and he's built himself into a mega superstar, and he knows the ins and outs of the sport. I feel like if Mayweather Promotions was ran the way it was supposed to be run, Floyd Mayweather, in my opinion, should be running the sport of boxing. He should be the premier promoter in the sport. What promoter can stand up to Floyd Mayweather if his promotional company comes after you? But for whatever reason, Floyd Mayweather Promotions has not dominated the game. They sign a lot of guys, and then for whatever reason, those guys get released or there's an issue and they move on. I don't understand that, but my heart for Floyd would be to do just that. Enjoy the fruits of your labor, which we see him doing a lot. Living off your investments, which we hear him talk a lot about, and running the game as the premier promoter in the sport of boxing.
Andre Ward said he admires Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s legacy as both a fighter and entrepreneur, pointing out that much of the criticism surrounding him overlooks what he actually accomplished in boxing and financially. Ward explained that Mayweather built his image around being money, highlighting his lifestyle, achievements, and independence, which turned him into a global attraction. He rejected the notion that Floyd failed financially, stressing that Mayweather was strategic in promoting himself and maximizing his earnings even when promoters doubted him. However, Ward also noted that Floyd's public persona and celebrity-driven lifestyle can lead to divided opinions, with some people focusing more on criticism than on his successes.
Mayweather's responsible for y'all getting media credential at these big fights and getting these free lunches and being a part of a big event. But for years I've heard people only talk about what Floyd Mayweather wasn't to them, what he did not do. How even though this was a great event and it's generated tens of millions and in many cases hundreds of millions, he should have stopped him. He was boring. He was this. I've always supported and pushed back on that narrative of Floyd Mayweather. Part of that is because of the way Floyd Mayweather goes about his business. He's been filthy rich. He's made his name, his legacy, and a lot of his reputation wasn't just the boxing, it was the money. It's the money man. What I have, what I'm driving, what I'm living in, what I'm flying in. And a lot of people, they don't like that. I don't know if Floyd Mayweather had more supporters for most of his fights or more haters. But regardless of where you fall on that line, Floyd Mayweather made it work for him when many people, promoters included, networks included, early on didn't think that he could.
Jake Paul has also taken aim at the ongoing situation involving Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao, describing the surrounding drama as a messy and unnecessary spectacle. He argued that the repeated back and forth, confusion over contracts, and shifting promotional plans are hurting the credibility of boxing. Paul suggested the sport continues to recycle the same fighters and narratives instead of delivering fresh matchups that fans genuinely want to see. He also implied that the hype around a potential rematch is driven more by marketing and financial gain than true competition. According to him, the situation appears disorganized and overblown, filled with conflicting signals from both sides. His remarks contribute to the broader discussion among fighters and fans about whether a rematch is actually needed or simply another money-focused event built on nostalgia rather than sporting merit.